I think that's a good thing. We should start every show with a sip of thingam. So, kanpai.
Why do you make everything so like?
So what I'm doing right now, for you and for anyone who's unfortunately watching this. By the way, thank you for tuning in. I love you. Um, I'm hoping to build a community. So, thank you. Why do I do things like that? Because I'm creating culture.
Well, I mean, it's not the doing. It's like this. It's so. I guess I prefer it to be more organic and
That
loose.
is organic. I
Well,
wanted to do.
if every morning we have to start with a sip of thingam, then it's not organic because now it's like okay, we have to 10 minutes in, 10 seconds in, sip of
No,
drink.
I think we're creating. I'm making a suggestion that every morning we should start off the show. Now we're gonna have to do it again because the whole rhythm of the show has just been broken. In doing things like that, you create culture, and you create things. Like some things will stand, some things will not. I just suggested that we should do it. Clearly, you don't agree with
It's
that.
not that I disagree with it. It's just that like it feels forced.
I think that's one thing that we should do. Make sure nothing is forced. Everything is
Yeah,
organic.
exactly.
The craziness that you see is genuinely organically
Yeah.
us. We don't fake
Yeah.
shit. I might have to beat that out. But other than
It is
censorship,
YouTube, I don't know.
other than complete censorship of things that we don't want you to hear, everything will be organic and real. That's what we do. We keep real up in here. So, welcome to the Morning Jae. My name is Jason, and
Hi, I'm Summer.
this my lovely assistant and beautiful assistant Senna. I like the shirt.
I don't know where this ash came from.
I like the shirt. Is that
Into the Spider-Verse, baby.
Into the Spider-Verse, which I think is the best Spider-Man movie, hands down. And perhaps the best superhero film ever made, hands down. And it's one of the cheapest to be produced in the Marvel era. So, what does that tell you? All you need is a good story,
Well, and a good team to pull it off.
a good team, and just soul. That's one thing that Spider-Verse had that I think the other films don't have. Everything was kind of formalized. This one was like, okay, we're gonna take it back to roots. We're gonna put some soul into this and a little bit of cultural influence and on the comic side and even urban side of New York.
Yeah.
So we need more films like Spider-Verse. We're 10 minutes in, so we probably should.
Start saying
Yeah,
something.
I would have edited a whole lot of shit out, but 10 minutes have passed before we even got into the show. So first up, let's get right into it. So a few
Right into it after 10 minutes.
after 10 minutes that you may not know, because I didn't know some of this stuff. So Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have to start with Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Oh,
right?
T minus.
Yeah, love the game. Sony and Square Enix kind of hooked me up. I got a collector's edition, but I bought it, but I got it pretty early.
Yeah.
And I think that's a sign of, they had confidence in this game going out, and they should. It was a great game. I think it lived up. I mean, they kind of, my opinion, they dropped the ball a little bit on the remake. I expected a little bit grander on scale. Like, for instance, one of the things that I expected that they didn't deliver was I thought all the sectors would be playable. So we still only got to really explore 3 sectors, sections of Midgar, or Midgar. People pronounce it differently.
Don't say Midgar.
And Midgar or Midgar, however you pronounce
Midgar's
it.
pretty. Say Midgar.
Yeah, because it's a reference to Norse mythology as well. Is it Norse? Or, yeah.
Yeah, no.
You only get to explore like 3 sectors
Out of.
out of like how many? At least 8 or 9, I want to say. So that was a big disappointment. I wanted an open world kind of thing where I got to explore those sectors a little bit. But you know what? The grand scale of it all, like the events that happened, and they were able to stretch 8 hours into 30 hours really comfortably. And then they added like 20 hours of bullshit side quests, which weren't the worst thing in the world, I guess. It could be worse. It wasn't like Fallout's like, help traveler, we need you, like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then like you couldn't walk 5 minutes
The guys are attacking me.
the guys are attacking us.
They're
It
on
was
the
like,
other side of the map.
and I'm like, wait a minute, I freed this town like like 10 minutes ago. How are they being attacked again? 4.
4.
Yes, we're talking about Fallout 4, in case you're wondering.
Finish that game?
We never finished it.
I know, I definitely didn't.
No, it was very long, and I mean, I got to a point in the story which was interesting, but it wasn't so interesting that I finished it. But I need to finish it.
Yeah, I definitely
Sucks
did
on
not get
us.
to that.
I have too much stuff to do, guys. I work in the entertainment business, all right? It's kind of pretty fast paced. So, now she's doing science shit.
Science.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake has 2.2 million downloads in April. That's how much they got.
Like, official, not like
It's an official thing.
black.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they didn't pirate it. They digital download
No.
bought it.
If it was pirated, how would you know it was downloaded?
Because you would know that it was downloaded. I don't know. I feel like there should be a pirate tally.
That would completely eliminate
It would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it?
of why you're pirating, because you're trying not to be caught when you're pirating this stuff. But also, I mean, we're kind of getting on not a tangent here, but the game size of Final Fantasy VII is like 80 gigabytes, 80 to 100 gigs. That's a huge, that's
So you
not an
can't
easy
download
thing to
it?
pirate. You could download it, but
I mean,
it's
pirate
just,
it.
but I mean, there's multiple reasons why you can't pirate something like that, because they haven't broken the system operating system yet, so you can't emulate a PS4 first off.
Oh, really?
Can't emulate it. There is no computer. So a quick point: in order to emulate a system and its games, the computing power has to be at least 10 to 20 times faster
Then the thing is trying to.
than the thing that is trying to run. It's just the way that it works.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII Remake has about 2.2 million downloads, narrowly missing Marvel's Spider-Man. So Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4 has a higher download in the first month.
It's kind of sad for Final Fantasy because Spider-Man came out a while ago.
Didn't know, but Marvel's Spider-Man had a huge momentum going into this because of like Infinity War. It came out around the same time Infinity War came out.
But
and
again,
Endgame.
that was a long time ago.
So let me repeat what I was just saying. In the first month of release,
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're saying that when Spider-Man was released, whenever that was, last year, year before, whatever, in that first month, it got whatever number you just said. And Spider-Man got 2.3 or whatever in
Sure.
its first month.
exactly.
Final Fantasy, in its first month, got 2 point whatever,
2.2
2.2 million.
downloads. Yeah.
So it's not that Spider-Man got 2 point whatever million this month.
No.
It's in its own first month.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're talking about records.
Well, that's less
Confusing.
impressive.
But Final Fantasy VII Remake was the top selling game of April.
Good for you.
Yeah, very good. Good opening. Hopefully we can break the 10 million mark.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm team Final Fantasy VII. I want to see it break some records. I think it was a very pivotal part of my life growing up on the original PlayStation. I want to see the remake hit monumental numbers. But we'll have to wait and see. Other stuff in the news, Zack Snyder's DCU gets a little fresh breath of life. A new
Lease on life.
lease in life, one would say. Because they
Oh,
are
Snyder
finishing,
Cut.
they're finishing the Snyder Cut finally after years of fans and bitching and moaning about, look, we could have made there's a reason why the movie flopped, the Justice League movie flopped. You should have used my version. I built up to this. We should have used my version. So, there was years of this back and forth, and then Warner Brothers and the DC guys finally said, okay, you know what? Fine, let's do it. Let's release the Snyder Cut. We're going to give what's rumored to be about $20-30 million to finish it. And, with the special effects and everything, no reshoots apparently need to happen that include the cast. It's like a no-brainer, just release it. Other than your pride being hurt a little bit if it turns out to be a total success.
Or total flop. You're like all this years talking about how horrible the movie was, and if you just did my version, and then your version still flops. You're like, so
I think
what I meant to say was.
Well, I think they would feel a lot better if it flopped, actually.
I meant Snyder wouldn't.
No, Snyder wouldn't, but yeah,
But
so
Warner Brothers or whoever.
yeah,
it
if
is.
that's financing it, 20-30 million, that's probably lunch at Warner Brothers. like a really fancy lunch for
That is a really fancy lunch.
yeah, for like some of the top execs.
$20 million lunch.
$20 million lunch. That's how Hollywood is. They need budgets.
I would
they
just
need
be
to
happy
make
with a
budget.
$100 lunch, actually.
Yeah, but you're not Hollywood.
I know.
So, yeah, I think, I think if the movie succeeds, this is a big slap in Warner Brothers' face. That I mean, it's a realization that the execs don't know shit.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fans want. So I really hope it's a success. I hope it was better.
Give the creative.
Yeah, give the creative power back to the director.
More, yeah.
Zack Snyder I think he lost his daughter that same year. So
Did she die?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was hoping he meant like.
In the movies,
No,
Zack
like,
had his fake daughter died.
No,
oh,
like I
how
don't know,
sad.
they got divorced or something, so she lost his daughter. Like I mean,
No.
at least that's easy. Like she's still alive. Like you just give the money and back away.
That's
Get your team together. Get a good team. Give them the money and leave.
That's what a good producer does. A good producer and a good director. The producer
Finds a director.
The producer does a lot of things. There's different types of producers, but a good producer should be able to find the greatest talent and pair them up and let them do their thing. Let them work. They've proven themselves. If you know how these movies are made, there's years, almost decades of polishing your craft. Let them do what they do. So I'm hoping that this movie is a success, and good luck. And I can't wait to see it. I think this Justice League will be better because the last one was very lacking, of the same thing that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had, which was Soul. So
I can rewatch a movie 1,000,000 times if I like it.
Yeah.
If I didn't like it the first time, I don't want to go watch it again. I didn't like it. Why am I going to watch it again?
Okay. So this is a good point. I'm glad before we moved on that you brought that up. I don't. You might not understand how big of a deal this Snyder Cut is.
Oh, I'm not. It's not that I don't understand.
Or what it implies. What exactly? So some movies are a little bit longer, right? Like deleted scenes. Those are director's cuts.
I know.
Yeah, they're a little bit longer. They give a little bit more backstory. The reason the Snyder Cut is so important is that it turns the story into a completely new direction.
Yeah.
So it's not just a few added scenes. It's supposed to be a whole new story. Different bad guy. The events that happened didn't happen at all the way that they happened. About more than, I think I remember hearing something like there was only 30% of the footage from the original shoot that made it into Justice League.
Damn.
So this should be a whole new story, a whole new experience. So it's not like rewatching the same movie again. This is something completely different.
That's fair.
Yeah. Next, Avatar: The Last Airbender was released on Netflix on May 15th.
Nice.
And it was #1 on Netflix for an entire week. I think that's awesome.
That's awesome.
An animation that was being years out, but Avatars are really great.
It is really great. I was surprised, honestly.
Yeah. With the exception of Korra.
I hate it. Korra doesn't count.
Yeah.
Only Aang's.
We won't talk about Korra.
No, Korra should never have happened. Only Aang's
story arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great news because I think that bodes very well. They probably will go for it in making a live action movie. That was a rumor. I don't know if it was officially announced when they would start that, but I think this bodes pretty well.
What a twist in doing it, is it?
Huh?
What a twist!
What a twist! No, it won't be. What a twist! The M. Night Shyamalan.
That was. I didn't even watch the movie. I know it's a terrible movie.
Yeah. That was interesting. It was an interesting movie.
Did you watch it?
No. So if you didn't know, there are a lot of Iranian ships filled with gasoline headed to Venezuela right now.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like 5 or something.
Yeah, 5 or 6. And this is very interesting because these are 2 countries that have been sanctioned by the U.S. So it's interesting to see
them helping each other.
Yeah, and to see if the U.S. will allow this.
Of course they won't allow it.
Well, what's funny is the first ship arrived, no problems.
I saw the one ship got moored. Doesn't that mean? Oh wait, what does moored mean? I should know that.
I'm not sure. Cable or rope to the shore.
Oh, okay,
so it means they're anchored. They made it. Yeah.
Because I read that and I was like,
yeah.
Somehow my mind interpreted that as they beached or something, like they got stuck.
No.
I'm not sure.
That's marooned. Little difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So The Iranian ships, the first two have arrived. Surprisingly, no intervention by the U.S. Government. So, well, first off, it would be totally illegal because you have no basis to stop trade between two countries
has
that are
never
that are.
stopped the U.S. before.
It has never. You would think the CIA. Well, they don't have as much money apparently until they print a new platinum coin. I guess they don't have enough money to just intervene with everyone's politics anymore. Let's hope, huh?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
We are citizens of the world. This is a disclaimer. So we are not with or against these types of decisions. So, thing is, did you see the Tesla new 2020 Roadster? So Elon Musk just made a comment that behind the license plate there would be an air thruster that compressed air, and so a la James Bond style. I love it. I would, if I could afford it, I would get it. How the transportation industries of the world take that, I'm not sure, but hey, you will most certainly have bragging rights. You will be doing with an enormous amount of you will win every drag race. You will lay the smackdown with this thing. Every car, there will never be a car that will touch that car.
But
It's already doing 1.8. That's what they say. It does 1.80 to 60, not to 60 in about 1.8 seconds.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I feel sick at 5.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. I want to see this. All right, so on to our main topics. Those were cool. Amazon is now a gaming company.
I don't know what that means.
It means that they are producing games now. So, if you didn't know, gaming for what does I didn't even know Amazon was in the gaming business like that.
They made that. They tried to make that console a couple of years ago.
Which console? Well, I know Google made Stadia. There's a
maybe that's what I'm thinking.
you might be thinking of Google. Yeah, and they still have Stadia that's coming out that is going to threaten the big three, which is Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft at this point. Stadia will disrupt that a little bit with cloud gaming, but Amazon is entering the field as well with their own cloud gaming. But before we even got there, I did not know that Amazon owned Twitch. Did not know that.
I think maybe that's what I was talking about.
Twitch?
I feel like I did know that.
Well, Twitch is a streaming service, it's a gaming streaming service.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
actual
doesn't
gaming,
produce.
but yeah. But they are making money, man. I mean, if you didn't know, Fortnite, Drake was playing Fortnite on Twitch, and they got the highest viewership ever, which was something like 750,000 live viewers. That doesn't seem like much when if you looked at a YouTube channel that had 750,000 live views, that's like huge.
That wasn't even what I was talking about. I think everything about this sentence was just like
the fact that Drake can have people watch him play a game.
The fact that Drake's on, so people are sitting there. The fact that anybody would watch anybody play a game is ridiculous to me. Like, play what you're just.
Well, recently I found myself looking at playthroughs as well, like speed runs, and it's kind of interesting to see how people make their decisions.
Like speed runs is different. You're trying to go through the game as fast as possible. You have start and time as short as possible.
Yeah.
A live playing, you're just playing. Like, I don't know. It's
not for you.
It's not for me. That's for sure.
Well, there are a lot of people. There's 750,000 people that disagree with you, at least. And they watched Drake play Fortnite with Ninja. There's a gamer called Ninja. He has his own Twitch streaming channel. We should check it out. We won't know what the whole thing's about unless we check it out. So maybe we should all check it out. Maybe if you're not into Twitch, maybe watch it and see what it's all about.
So Twitch is a streaming gaming service.
Yes. Which stream people play.
You're not
games.
playing.
You're not playing, no.
You're just watching people play.
Yes.
That's the entire purpose of Twitch, just watching other people play games.
Yes. And Amazon owns it, and
God, I've never felt older in my life.
You really should. But it's going to be a major marketing tool. Publishers are already using Twitch to promote their own games, and that's just on the surface. So Amazon Jeff Bezos is a smart man.
He is smart.
He moved from books into everything else. He's like, what else can I conquer? And gaming, I think he realizes, will be a really big thing in the future. It will take people's pastimes, condense it into in front of the couch, in front of the TV experience. He will be engaging with a lot of younger people, and that'll be a direct access to buying other things.
So I'm still stuck on the Switch thing. So you buy the game from somewhere
Jesus.
else, and then you log into Twitch,
Uh-huh.
and then you just play.
And you're streaming live with other gamers, and it's on every platform.
Oh,
it's on
my
every
goodness.
gaming platform, yeah.
Okay.
So, in addition to Twitch, they started producing their own games entirely. So there's a game that just came out that's called Crucible. That's the first of many, which seems to be many games that Amazon will be producing and releasing. In the summer, they have another game coming out called New World.
So does it go on to consoles, or how do you play these games?
It's a free-to-play game. I'm sure there's different ways of playing across different platforms.
But not Twitch.
Well, I'm assuming you can watch it on Twitch.
You can watch it on Twitch, but you can't play on Twitch.
You won't be able to play on Twitch.
It's ridiculous.
And they have a cloud gaming service called Project Tempo that's on its way out a little bit later as well. And I feel like that cloud-based service will be in direct competition with Stadia, Google Stadia.
So, what do you call it? What is it called?
Stadia. The new thing is Project Tempo.
So Tempo will be to-play games on, like an actual, like
Yes,
their
that will
online
be.
cloud
But it will be
console.
cloud-based gaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just like Stadia.
Yeah. So you need a really fast computer or something to make those work?
Well, according to Google, Stadia will work on. It has a set-top box. Stadia works on a set-top box.
What?
There's a box.
That you just put on.
Yeah, and you should the speed. It's an amazing technology. What they're saying is that it doesn't matter how fast the thing that you're using to play this thing on is. What matters is the broadband speed. So with higher broadband speed, they can literally stream the computing. All the computing can be done on a different server.
Yeah.
But you just need a fast enough bandwidth to see your effect.
So people in rural areas are really
At least until satellite-based services become popular. Yeah.
Poor them.
Poor them. Poor them. Poor them. I see what you did there. Poor them.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
So moving on. So in addition, SpaceX will be launching their first crewed mission on Wednesday, May 27th.
The first American...
At 4:33 p.m. if you're going to watch it.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, yeah.
The first American crew on an American craft to leave from U.S. soil.
Yes.
In
At least 13...
years?
No, not that long. At least 14 years. I think they stopped service 2005. It's been a while. I don't have the exact year, but it's been a while, at least 15 years. The last time we've launched from the United States a crew to the ISS or into orbit or into space from American soil. So this is a big deal.
I thought it was longer than that. That's I mean, it's still good job.
Good job, us.
But or them.
Or
we
them.
didn't do anything. Somehow I thought it was longer than that.
Astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken will be the first astronauts, American astronauts, launching from the U.S. on SpaceX. And this is a big deal because if this is a big success, you're going to see more and more people being launched into space. We're going to finally get our moon bases going. Hopefully our mission to Mars will be much more of a reality than just a theory on paper. I want to get into space, man. Like I've been watching a lot of sci-fi movies, and like one of my favorite shows right now is The Expanse. I want to see The Expanse happen. I think humans can be...
You know how messed up The Expanse? You want to see that happen?
It's going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen anyway. At least, you know. I think it needs to happen.
I'm not living in an Expanse world, that's for sure.
In Expanse, it might be not a very good world, but I feel like as humans, this is eventual. We will eventually get there. Because other than that, the alternative is that we're going to have a very overpopulated planet.
We already have an overpopulated planet.
We already have an overpopulated planet, and other than complete genocide, what are you going to do with all these humans? You're going to have to send them somewhere. So the Expanse is an eventuality as a species for us to evolve and become more mature. We will, and I think here's the thing. This is where we differ. You see humans as something that destroys, a plight to the universe.
Yes.
I see it as a building block.
A building block of destruction.
For you. For me, we can build new life elsewhere. We don't even have to
destroying life that was originally there.
And let me just paint this picture for you. Imagine if we can go to Mars, we discover, or let's say, let's go a little bit further than Mars because we're a little bit desperate for land right now. But let's say we can travel to a world that has ice, a new world, a new moon in Jupiter that has ice. We don't need new landscape right now, but we go over there, we see a little fish. That's one species, maybe two species, or two little whatever. We make it more habitable for them.
If they were there, there's already habitable for them.
No, it's just let's say it's really harsh. We can speed up the timeline.
Yeah,
and
no.
We can
just because it's harsh for us doesn't mean it's harsh for them. There are fish that live under the Antarctic ice. That is their home. That's the only place they live. If you make it less harsh, then they can't survive because they've adapted to live there.
Okay, let me paint a new scenario. Let's say we go to a planet like Mars, completely dead. We can bring life to that planet. I think that's a good thing. Yeah. We can take dead hunks of rock that's not doing anything, and we could make use of it. We could apply new life to it.
But we're assuming it's dead. Did you see that Star Trek from like however friggin' long ago, Enterprise? There was that light species.
Yeah.
That light species was a species. We didn't think it was a species because it was light.
Well, if we were able to change it, it was never going to last.
Well, it ended up killing everybody, so...
Well, that's what I'm saying. And at that point, humans will be like, we learned an important lesson. Life isn't always organic. I think these things will balance out. And I think we will bring dead things to life, and things that are living, we're going to help.
And things that are living, we're going to bring to death.
That's the pessimistic view. Our last point, we're going to keep on space for a second, but our last thing, did you know, this was really surprising to me. It seems that in the future, pee, the astronauts' pee, will be worth gold.
Urine.
No, pee. Urine. But I want to be, for layman's term, our pee,
So astronaut pee will be gold, but...
The urine, yes, urination, the urea that's in the pee.
Wait.
Is going to be worth a lot.
Is the urea in the pee, or is the whole pee itself?
I imagine it's the urea that's in the pee.
The astronaut pee will be worth gold, but Earth-based pee won't be?
Yes, let me explain.
Please.
I found this very interesting. So, lately, what scientists have found is that... No, these are...
No, I know, but it is... Scientists have found.
Yeah.
Researchers have found.
Headline stories, right?
Scientists.
Well, these are actually researchers. They found that urine, when mixed with the moon dust, actually makes a really good... what's the word I'm looking for? It makes for a really good structure. They can produce really strong structures out of moon dust and urea. That's
actually really awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. They created something what is referred to as a geopolymer.
Yeah, geopolymer.
Right. And you can use this geopolymer, which is better than concrete, to build structures. And there are some added benefits to this thing. You can build structures that at first glance seem to be protective against radiation.
Damn.
Space radiation, yeah. Who knew?
Well, I think I should start working for
NASA.
Because I've got a small bladder and I produce a lot of urine. Probably TMI. But still,
but that's interesting.
I feel like
now we know.
I feel like they're gonna start because how many astronauts are there? And I feel like they're gonna need a lot of urea. I did not eat today.
You did not eat today.
I feel like they're gonna need a lot of urea, so they're gonna have to harvest it. You know how they have blood banks? Mm-hmm. They're gonna have urine banks.
If you make it to moon, yeah.
Well, it is start transporting that up there. they'll have shipments of urea going to space.
It's really funny that you mention this because that's what some of the researchers they're like. There are not going to be enough humans
There's not
on the moon
to make that much.
geopolymer, and so you're going to have to go. You have to default in bringing it up from Earth
right.
to the moon.
So you're going to need people.
Yeah.
Who have urea,
or at least the elements of within the urine. Send it to the moon.
Oh, so maybe only certain people have it. Maybe
only no, everyone produces this.
What is it? Everyone produces urea, but does everyone produce the thing within the urea?
Yeah, everyone produces. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You just send those back up to the moon. Yeah. But it would be a lot easier if you just have a ton of people just pissing all over the place.
And well, not all over the place. That's disgusting.
Just have a big bath, a pool, and everyone just like zip into the pool, and then you can build Imagine. Can you imagine the smells?
That's so disgusting. I wish you had stopped talking a long time ago.
Can you imagine the smell?
Well,
I wonder if it smells like urine. Can you imagine a house is like, yeah, I'm safe, I'm protected from radiation, but man, this place smells like New York.
Oh damn, that's a awful. I don't think it would, because excuse me, I don't think it is the urea that makes urine smell like urine. I think it's the bacteria. That's what I think I heard. The bacteria in the urine, or like it's what makes it have the smell, or like proteins or something. It's not the actual.
Could be the proteins. Urea contains protein that's broken down. That's the main function of. That's part of what urea is. It's broken down protein. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because like when you eat different stuff, or like if you're sick, it smells different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Disgusting. So probably if they're only extracting the urea, it probably wouldn't smell.
Let's find out. Not only will it help with geopolymers, it's going to help with fertilizers. There's a few things. So right now, urine is used on the ISS. They recycle the urine into water.
Yeah.
So you can do that on the moon as well.
You can do it here.
Yeah, you can do it here. So urine will be valuable in that way too. That's literally your source of water. There's
that's recycling on a whole other level.
It's on a whole new level, and it's probably easier to get the ice from use the moon's ice to get water. But the problem is that also has contaminants in it.
You'd have to clean it.
So it's probably going to be much more safer to use urine. So that's where urine is also going to be gold. And last but not least, you can use it for vegetation. You can use it for agriculture. So you can use urine as a fertilizer through a process.
Well, I guess that makes. Is there a lot of nitrates and nitrites in urine?
That's exactly right. You hit the nail right on the head. You're creating a type of nitrate that will help help soil to produce vegetation.
Plants prefer if they have nitrates or they'll take nitrates up preferentially than they would take ammonia, I believe, because they convert ammonia to ammonium. Oh, hence you taught me something. The nitrate cycle.
Well, I think that's it for this extremely long version of this. We're going to have to cut this down a little bit.
Extremely long version, please.
But it was an interesting conversation. I enjoyed this morning, so you're a cool girl. So, thanks for sitting with us. If you made it through this whole thing, thank you. I guess we will see you Wednesday on another weekly update. On Wednesday, we will be going to the moon. On Wednesday, we will be going to the ISS. Not SpaceX.
I'm not going to the ISS. I'm staying right here.
My imagination will be going on SpaceX's Crew Dragon Demo 2, and I will be in my imagination on the ISS with those two astronauts.
Well, 2 American astronauts. There are a bunch of other astronauts.
I'm going up.
Oh, you're going up with them.
Yeah.
Why is it? It's random thought. We can leave this here.
Yeah.
But why everybody has astronauts?
Yeah.
Except for Russians. Russians have cosmonauts.
Cosmonauts.
Yeah. It says the American astronauts, the Japanese astronaut, and the Russian cosmonauts. Why are they not astronauts? Or why are we not cosmonauts?
That is something we will research, and I will get back to you. If you know the answer, leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. We're gonna like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
I did this.
And please, can you tell us two things? One, what should we bake? We're gonna go on a baking spree.
Well,
we want to bake some stuff. At least she will. I will just be watching.
I'm gonna make some yummy treats.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe pretzels or bagels. I'm gonna do something sweet. I was thinking cinnamon rolls, but I've already made cinnamon rolls. Maybe try something new. I don't know.
Well, if you have any suggestions, you want to see her bake it. She's a great baker.
Oh, stop it.
You're right. I'm lying. But she's all right. So, if you want to see something...
something new.
Yeah, please leave it in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. And, I guess I'll see you guys on Wednesday. So, till next time.